Molly McNerney, Jimmy Kimmel's wife and head writer, went public on this topic recently, so I feel it's fair to comment respectfully in public. She says she's lost relationships with relatives because she wrote them an email before the election with 10 reasons why they shouldn't vote for Trump, and some still didn't obey. So, 10 reasons. I can think of 100. But I would never present it to someone as an ultimatum. Ultimatums don't make people rethink their politics, they make them rethink you.
Maher has grown tired of the left's constant attacks on Trump, so he's striking back. He argues their outrage is inflated, often unnecessary, and that they'd be better off addressing their own shortcomings instead of fixating on Trump. Maher's response hits with precision, sharp, witty, and impossible to overlook.
Happy Thanksgiving. I can't believe that even that now is a political issue. It is a real shame what's happened to this holiday, which used to be all about the good F's: food, friends, family, football, fun. And now it's you. You're not even invited because you voted for the wrong person. I'm so tired of liberals ghosting half this country. Conservatives do it too, but not nearly as much. Look, whoever's doing it, it's got to stop, because we're at a point now where politics has broken up more families than letting your wife see your phone.
Maher is absolutely right. Politics has fractured the country in ways that feel deeper and sharper than ever. America is more divided now, largely because many on the left increasingly refuse to engage with anyone who doesn't align perfectly with their worldview. Instead of open conversation, there's a rapid tendency to dismiss, shame, or silence opposing voices. That reluctance to consider different perspectives has stretched every cultural and political divide even wider. And unless that changes, the split won't just remain, it'll continue to grow.
Now, on the liberal side, there's two camps now. The we need to keep talking to people wing and the go no contact wing. That's what they call it now, go no contact. This belief that Trump voters, even if it's your own parents, are too deplorable for human contact and must be cut off. Like Scientologists do to suppressive people. A former speechwriter for Obama named David Litt wrote an op-ed this year called, "Is it time to stop snubbing your right-wing family?" where he admitted he'd had a change of heart, and that was the wrong approach. So, of course, then the woke wing tried to banish him for breaking ranks on their policy of hating people who don't agree with you on everything, because what fun is life if you're not cutting somebody off?
It's a sad trend, really. Politics, at its core, is meant to be an exchange of ideas, a space where people can disagree, debate, and still respect each other when the conversation ends. But that spirit is fading. The left is becoming increasingly intolerant, especially among those who cut off family and friends simply because they voted Republican. When political affiliation becomes a reason to exile someone, it stops being about ideas and turns into something far more rigid and hostile. That impulse to sever ties doesn't strengthen society. It fractures it in ways that are difficult to mend.
Mr. Litt asked the question, what has all this banishing accomplished? Oh, I know. A second helping of MAGA, that's what. Molly McNerney, Jimmy Kimmel's wife and head writer, went public on this topic recently, so I feel it's fair to comment respectfully in public. She says she's lost relationships with relatives because she wrote them an email before the election with 10 reasons why they shouldn't vote for Trump, and some still didn't obey. So, 10 reasons. I can think of 100. But I would never present it to someone as an ultimatum. Ultimatums don't make people rethink their politics, they make them rethink you.
Let's be honest, no one who firmly committed to voting for Trump is suddenly going to change their mind because someone sent them a long, emotional email telling them not to. People don't abandon their political convictions because of a lecture in their inbox. In that sense, Molly completely misread the situation. Her message wasn't persuasive, it felt intrusive. And instead of easing the divide she claimed to be concerned about, it only deepened it. Rather than opening a real conversation, it pushed people further into their corners. If anything, Her approach highlighted exactly why political discussions feel so strained today. Too many people are trying to correct others instead of trying to understand them.
Somewhere along the way, my values became code for I'm the only one with a moral compass. You know what would have been a better exercise? Write a top 10 list to yourself where you try to imagine 10 reasons why 77 million Americans didn't want to trust you with taking power. And I say that as someone who votes Democratic. As I like to remind my very pure friends, we voted for the same person. You're just why she lost.
Many Democrats have, in part, contributed to why the DNC feels unappealing or even toxic to so many people. They're often an air of superiority, a belief that their values are inherently more enlightened than anyone else. Those who disagree or don't fall neatly in line with the party ideology are frequently dismissed as uninformed, misguided, or even morally flawed. That attitude doesn't encourage dialogue, it shuts it down. It pushes people away mentally and emotionally, making them feel unwelcome before a real conversation can even start. Instead of fostering connection or understanding, this sense of superiority widens the divide, leaving many voters feeling frustrated, alienated, and unwilling to engage with the party at all.
Can we please try to remember, especially at this time of year, that most people don't decide their politics, they inherit them. It's about where you grew up in America, what your parents taught you, your life experiences, your religion. Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia was here recently, and I was amazed by the number of people who reached out after the show to say, wow, I kind of like her. Yeah, that's been my line for a while. Everyone's a monster till you talk to them.
Exactly. Much of our political identity comes from where we grew up, the communities that shaped us, the values we learned, and the experiences that formed our worldview. But beyond all of that, we're human beings first, full of hopes, fears, and complexities that no political label can fully define. Judging someone solely by their vote overlooks that deeper humanity. Before making assumptions or writing someone off, it's worth taking the time to understand them as a person. Real conversations, empathy, and genuine curiosity reveal far more than party affiliation ever will. Politics may divide us, but our shared humanity can still bring us together.
On our overtime segment that night, someone asked about the alien spaceship. Maybe you've been reading about it, the 3-1 Atlas comet that's headed to Earth and will arrive on December 19th to wipe out all life as we know it. It's a joke, don't worry. And when I quoted people in our own Defense Department who had said, well, hold on, what you think might be aliens actually could be fallen angels or demons. Marjorie agreed, saying, absolutely. She said, I'm a Christian conservative, angels and demons, that's what we believe. Okay, I think that but you know what? So is this a girl or a boy? I can't tell by its
I really appreciate Maher because he never hesitates to call out the extremes on both ends of the political spectrum. Sure, conservatives can have their share of outlandish or even absurd ideas, but liberals aren't exempt from irrational thinking either. What makes the liberal side particularly frustrating, though, is the tendency of some to claim a self-righteous moral high ground. They often act as if they're the ultimate arbiters of right and wrong, the sole keepers of truth and wisdom, and everyone else is expected to fall in line. That attitude isn't just irritating, it's counterproductive. It pushes people away who might otherwise be open to real dialogue and shuts down the kind of debate a healthy democracy depends on. Maher's approach is refreshing because he calls out these contradictions with wit and sharp insight, reminding us that no side is above criticism. By spotlighting the absurdities on both ends of the spectrum, he encourages people to think for themselves rather than blindly adopting any single ideology.
I'm not going to go through wokeism's greatest hits now, but, you know, the safetyism, the open borders, queers for Palestine, whatever this was. I mean, I could go on, really. There's a lot of stuff. The other side has their top 10 list, too, and some of it's pretty hard to argue with. And I know the President of the United States called a woman piggy this week, and you're a better person than me because you hate it more than I do. But I hate it, too, really. As well as 1,000 other things about the Trump administration I never stop pointing out on this show. But I'm an adult, and in the real world, there's some people you just can't stop talking to, like your spouse or partner after a bad fight, tempting as that is.
We may never agree on everything, and that's completely fine. Differences in opinions, perspectives, and experiences are natural in a diverse society. What matters most is our ability to come back together, set aside divisions, and work with intention toward building a better America for the generations that follow. Our founding fathers envisioned a nation that could grow, thrive, and offer opportunity to all its citizens. They understood that real progress requires dedication, compromise, and a shared commitment to the common good principles that shape the foundations we benefit from today. Now it's our turn to honor that legacy. We must put the same thought, effort, and care into shaping a future where our children and grandchildren can flourish. That means engaging with one another respectfully, listening with empathy, and actively contributing to our communities. By doing so, we not only protect what has already been built but also help America continue evolving into a stronger, fairer, and more united country for those who come after us.
Like your dick of a boss, like your family, and like the President of the United States. This is so childish, so purely emotional. The people who got all butthurt because I had dinner with them, you know, because he's Hitler. Except he's not. So unhelpful and dumb. Trump is the most supportive president Israel and the Jews ever had. You know, every year I used to ask Larry David to do real time, and he'd always say, "Bill, I can't. I'm not smart enough about politics to do your show." Yeah, I get that now.
The left-leaning media often encourages audiences to view issues through a single political lens, presenting information in ways that support their preferred narrative. Coverage is frequently slanted, highlighting certain stories or framing events to cast figures like Trump as authoritarian, fascist, or desperate, often without acknowledging nuance or context. This kind of reporting shapes public perception, making it easy for viewers to accept a simplified or exaggerated version of reality. Given that, it's not surprising that someone like Larry David would echo those perspectives, absorbing the narrative that's consistently presented to him and his audience. Maher's take on Larry David here is spot on. He recognizes how media influence can shape opinions even for public figures known for humor and social commentary. By calling this out, Maher reminds us that criticism isn't always objective and that narratives can be molded to support specific agendas. In a media landscape this polarized, critical thinking and questioning the source of information remain essential.
Because there is no argument here. There's just the sugar rush that the no-contact people get from never coming in second in a I hate Trump the most contest. Really? That's your strategy, to go full high school and tell the guy with all the power he can't sit with you at the lunch table? To borrow a phrase familiar to HBO viewers, you are not serious people. I mean, what exactly is the argument? That by talking to Trump, I'll elevate him? Oh my God, don't tell me he could become president. Well, I guess Ma'am Donnie is going to elevate Trump because he went to the White House today, and look who's getting along now.
The recent visit of Ma'am Donnie to the White House surprised just about everyone. Even more unexpected was the sense of camaraderie that developed between him and Trump. The two have a long history of public clashes, exchanging sharp criticisms and standing firmly on opposite sides of major political issues. Most observers anticipated tension, maybe even open confrontation, during such a high-stakes meeting. Instead, during their time at the White House, both leaders set their differences aside and focused on a shared priority: improving the lives of New Yorkers and making the city better for all. Their willingness to collaborate across deep ideological divides was both striking and encouraging. It a reminder that meaningful progress is possible when leaders put the common good ahead of personal or partisan agendas. If more of us approach disagreements with that same openness and practicality, we could bridge divides, foster cooperation, and work together toward solutions that benefit society as a whole. It's an example well worth emulating.
This guy, MBS, was at the White House this week. Biden thought he could cut him off, but a year later he found out he couldn't. There's no perfect way to deal with Trump, but not engaging is for sure nothing. Axios wrote a column in August entitled 11 Ways to Influence Trump, based on many interviews with people who have done that. Number 8, get face to face. The trick is getting in the room, away from cameras and social media. Trump will say or write horrible things, but rarely in person, one-on-one, where he comes off kinder, more interested, less erratic. Exactly. And there's a bunch of examples of this. Most recently, the CEO of Intel, who Trump was hating on, but then he met in person, and now he's a great guy. Trump was gonna send the National Guard to San Francisco, but somebody talked him out of that.
Today, political landscape is deeply divided, and it's easy to feel discouraged. Yet there are lessons and moments that offer clarity, like Maher's sharp insights, Mamdani's unexpected White House visit, and the reminder that our shared humanity comes before political labels. Politics will always involve disagreement, but disagreement doesn't have to breed animosity. We can challenge ideas without dehumanizing others, engage in debate without cutting people off, and express our views without claiming moral superiority. Both the left and right have their extremes, and calling them out isn't an attack, it's a call for reflection, balance, and dialogue. Our responsibility goes beyond commentary. It's about shaping a future where civility, cooperation, and empathy guide our interactions. Just as the Founding Fathers laid the groundwork for a thriving nation, we must invest in a better America for the next generation. That means setting aside partisan hostility, seeking common ground, and working together to ensure that democracy, community, and opportunity thrive for all, regardless of political affiliation. And with that, we'll wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.